Welcome, everyone. I am Nathan. He is Raymond, and we are the Infodump Brothers from another mother.
Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse.
So good.
It's a work of art. It's so good. It was so good. It's the best. Okay, it's the best movie. Like, I think it's the best multiversal shenanigans movie.
Oh, 100%.
After Everything Everywhere All at Once. Like, because that movie was amazing.
Yes.
But it's live action.
Yes.
This is animated.
This is like the best superhero interpretation of it. Like, No Way Home was good.
Yes.
This took it to another level. And like, this blew Doctor Strange and the Multiverse of Madness like out of the water. Like, that movie was such a disappointment on a multiversal level. But like, this movie, so much better.
Nathan, it didn't just blow it out of the water, it sent it to the moon. Goodbye, Doctor Strange. Good flipping bye. This movie, just the beginning of the movie, with Gwen Stacy, right? It's like the start of the movie. It starts. Like, she's talking about, like, everything that's gonna happen. And I'm like, what's going on? And then she's like talking to us. Like, I think she's talking to us, but she's not. She's not talking to us. Mm-hmm. She's like talking to the people she's bringing on to her new band, right? Like, oh, spoiler alert, by the way. Spoiler alert.
Yeah, watch the movie already. You haven't.
Exactly. But it's like, she starts the movie. She basically spoils the plot of the entire movie. And you're like, what is going on? And then we get like 20 minutes or more of Gwen going through her life. It's like a whole, like, I was like, this is her movie.
Yeah.
Like, this is
in some
movie.
ways, this really felt like more of a Gwen movie than like a Miles movie. Like, even Gwen, I felt like had more of an emotional, like, Miles had some emotional resolution in this movie, of course, but like, you can tell most of the resolutions coming in like the next movie, where like he goes on to like confront the Spot or like save his dad and stuff. But like, one of the biggest emotional resolutions of this movie just came from the conflict between Gwen and her dad, and like, that got tied up in a neat little bow by the end of this. So like, in that regard, it really did feel like a Gwen movie more than a Miles movie.
But what I love about it is that they literally started with the logos and everything for Gwen's universe. They started the logos and everything, like Sony, whatever, blah, 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 Marvel Studios, blah, blah.
And yeah, with all that, you'd think they would start with the golden boy, Miles, but nope, they start with Gwen.
No, they start with Gwen. And her world is straight out of the comics, first of all.
Yep, gorgeous.
The art style is straight out of the comics. But even more glorious. Like, it's so beautiful that I literally, Nathan, I literally just cried just because, like, not just because of the emotional beats, just the colors. The colors were speaking, man. It's like every time, like, she felt depressed, like, the color of blue, like that blue, and then the dad coming in with the yellow, and she hugs him, and like the light, like the colors change. That made me cry. That made me tear up.
It was so gorgeous.
The moment she goes in to she ends the fight with the Vulture and whatever, and her dad comes in. The way the background kind of just washes off. I was like this in my chair. Like, I was just throwing back in my chair, like, oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. Like, I was throwing back on my chair, like, multiple times in this movie. But that moment was like, I was audibly saying, this is gorgeous. This is beautiful. Wow, this is incredible. I was like, I'm sorry, but my mouth cannot be shut up, like, looking at this. Like, I'm like, I gotta say something. And when that moment happened and the colors just mixing and mashing with the dad, it's like, I was crying. I was like, why am I crying? Like, this is not, like, this is such as, like, a Spider-Man thing that I see all the time. but the colors made it so much more impactful for some. Like, I think I understand painting now. Like, I understand paint now.
This is a point of colors.
Exactly. I was like, what? Like, because I have never, like, understood completely, like, what people feel when they look at paintings. Like, I'm like, I feel like this person did something. It's like, but this movie just opened my eyes. I was like, wow, I think I can appreciate paint.
I can taste the rainbow now, and it's beautiful.
But yeah, like but Gwen, like her dad is like, I can't take this reality. I'm gonna arrest you, and she's like, what? Like, I'm your daughter. I'm your daughter. Come on. Like, you think I killed my best friends? Like no, you gotta go to jail. Like, put your hands up. And she's like, nah, I'm gonna dip out. And she dips
like,
out.
I reject your reality and just leave altogether.
Yes.
I'm gonna go to my own reality.
She's like, well, my parent, I don't know what I'm gonna do. I'm just gonna leave my universe completely unprotected.
They'll be fine.
They'll be fine. No, but, it's so interesting, because it's like, I always have this question. Do you think, why do people avoid going to jail? Why do superheroes avoid going to jail? Like, what do you think that is, like, why isn't that, like, a trope? Like, I see a lot of movies where it's like, I'm like, well, if you're trying to, I understand you're trying to do good, I understand you have a secret identity, but at the same time, you did commit a crime.
I think it's, I think we probably just, like, have, like, this is all just me spitballing, but, like, I think one hand, there's just kind of, like, a shame that, like, goes with, like, going to jail, where it's like, oh, now that person's going to jail, it's like a permanent mark on their permanent record of life, and so, like, once they get out of jail, that will always forever scar them. Kind of like how there's that whole thing where how ex-cons have a hard time getting back into society after they get out of jail because like that's a permanent scar on them. And then B, I think it's like it kind of feels like a slap in the face where it's like, oh, I've been trying to do all this good, and now all of a sudden I'm being sent to jail for trying to do the right thing, and like that feels horrible. And C, I think it's just more of a logistics thing where it's like, oh, if I get sent to jail, that means my secret identity gets out. And sure, that will suck for me, but that will also suck for the people around me that I'm trying to protect. So, like, if you like got a big rogues gallery like Spider-Man, and then you get sent to jail and your secret identity gets loose, all of the supervillains are going to go after your loved ones. And I think that's happened in the comics on occasion, where, like, I think during one of the big Civil War story arcs, like, Spider-Man revealed his identity, and like they immediately, and the villains immediately went after Aunt May. So like, avoiding jail is good just to protect your loved ones as well as yourself.
Yeah, that is true. But there is kind of like a theme in this movie of being honest with the people that love you, and being honest with the people closest to you, because it's kind of like you think. It's kind of like the Gwen and Spider-Man always thinks, oh, this is gonna... Sorry. And you see Miles think about it, right? He's like, if they do this, if I tell them I'm Spider-Man, they're gonna...
Reject it, yeah.
They're gonna reject me. He has that fear in him.
Yes.
But I like to say, the transition between the Gwen story, when that ends, the Gwen story, I don't know if you noticed... But I was surprised about this, is that the movie starts again. Mm-hmm. Like, the logos come back, it's Sony, and then the Marvel logo comes back, and then we start with Miles' narration.
Yep.
So, we saw a short film. It was like 20 minutes or so. We saw a short film within a film.
Yep. This movie really did have true protagonists. And, like, you can tell this is Sony now that Sony has stumbled on gold with the first movie, and like now they have like legitimate great potential for a great franchise. This is them going all in on it. Where it's like, okay, not only do we have Miles as a great protagonist that we could make a franchise off of, but now we have Gwen, and we're going to invest in that, and that's why we're going to have like a 2-hour and 20-minute movie just dedicated to the two of them and trying to like set up this whole franchise because we need something to compete with Disney, and it's like the best we've got right now.
Dude, I audibly said, are we just starting a new movie? Like, what the heck? Like, because I was like, oh my gosh. Like, it shocked me so hard because the movie started already. Mm-hmm. Like, I've never seen this before. Like, I don't know if you have seen that before, like, in any other movie or something, because I've never seen that, like, starting over. Like, the movie starting over is such a... I think the only thing I can think about is, like, Scott Pilgrim. Mm-hmm. I think is the only thing I can think about where the movie starts over because he dies, and he basically goes through the entire movie again. Mm-hmm. Like, but it's like, I've never had that experience of, like, I started a movie, I'm watching a movie, and then, bam, that ends, a new movie starts. It's crazy. It felt like we were traveling to different universes. It felt like this is the one universe. This is where this is the movie in this universe. Like, there's a universe where this is the movie that you're watching, and then we're traveling to this other universe where you're watching now the Miles movie.
I can't think of a movie that's done that off the top of my head, but honestly, going into that, it reminded me of playing the intro of Kingdom Hearts 2, which is kind of infamous for a similar thing, where it's like you spend like a couple hours with this one protagonist, and like he goes through this whole story arc, and then his story arc ends at the end of that intro, which again took a couple hours, and then you go to the actual main protagonist. You actually go to Sora, and you're starting from scratch with Sora after that introduction. So like in that regard, it was similar to this. But yeah, I can't think of a movie that's done that. Only video games.
So yeah, it was shocking to me, and I was like, this is revolutionary in so many ways. Like, they're doing things that nobody has done before. This hasn't been done before. It's like, and the fact that I enjoyed it, I was like, this is amazing. It was incredible. It's like, it just shows you how you can experiment with the formula that has been built throughout history in film. And like, I really love again, that what we were saying is that seems to be like this theme of that maybe if you're honest about your secret identity, you can essentially change the canon, basically, events.
Yeah, change the narrative for yourself.
Exactly, from happening. So it's like, basically, Gwen telling her dad, like actually removing the mask and telling her secret identity to him, caused him to leave the police force, and he never becomes captain, so he's not gonna die. Mm-hmm. Because what we learned in this movie, and which is something that I never actually realized, like I never actually realized this completely. I knew that somebody close to you died as a Spider-Man, somebody close to you, but also a captain of the police force, which I didn't realize that was like a thing, and then I thought about it. I was like, yeah, actually, that is true.
Yeah, like, they did their research.
There's always two deaths. Like, there's always the death of a loved one, and the death of a captain. That's really funny. That in a funny in that not like haha way, but it's like funny. Like, I never thought about that before. It's like there's a pattern here, and I think that's the thing with Miguel O'Hara, is that he's seeing a pattern, and he's identifying that as, oh, this is like canon. Mm-hmm. This needs to happen, and I just don't think so. I think this movie is basically, and this maybe could be just my interpretation of it, but I see it as a fight between choices and destiny. Mm-hmm. What is real? Is destiny real? Are choices real? like what is real. And you know, I personally think that there is like, I believe in a sort of predestination as a Christian, but not, I don't believe in destiny. I believe that there is things that are set to happen and will happen. I do believe that, but I don't believe it's necessarily destiny. I believe that there's choices along the way, and those things can coexist. Just because something is set to happen as a, let's say, like, call it a canon event, right? Mm-hmm. That doesn't mean that the choices that you make along to get that into that don't matter. Mm-hmm. Like, so basically there's choices, and there are canon events. I do think Uncle Ben needs to die for Spider-Man to become Spider-Man. Mm-hmm. Or not necessarily Uncle Ben, but you know what I mean. It's like a relative dies so that Spider-Man goes like, oh, these powers are meant for something more than just for me to make money. Because that's basically all Spider-Man always thinks about that first. It's like, oh, how can I benefit from this? Mm-hmm. And then when their relative or loved one dies, they're like, oh, this is more than just that. Mm-hmm. I need to use this. I need to use this. They either go, I need to use this for good, or they go, oh, I need to be careful with life. Mm. Life is like I need to be careful. And I think Miguel O'Hara is wrong, and like, Spider-Man doesn't need trauma. He needs experience. He needs to realize life is important, and I don't do this to benefit myself, but to help others. Mm-hmm. Like, that's what Spider-Man is. Spider-Man is this character that tries to... he has gone through these events, and he's like, I'm going to try for that not to happen to anyone else. That doesn't need to happen to anyone else. I'm going to save all the uncles out there.
Yes. It's like with every superhero story, where it's like there's always going to be pain, but the hero doesn't... It's not the pain that makes the hero. It's the choice to rise above that pain. It's a choice to, like, let that pain fuel them to do good, as opposed to saying, no, this pain has to happen. And like, yes, pain is inevitable. Pain will always happen. But the point is to get back up from that pain and to try to keep that from happening to other people. Let that pain inspire you. Otherwise, there'd be no point to it altogether. But the problem with Miguel is that he thinks the point is the pain. And the only reason he thinks that is because he's been burned by thinking otherwise. Because before that, he thought, oh, I have a choice in the matter. I can live happily. I can enjoy myself. I can do this. I can, like, go above my circumstances or change my circumstances. But then he got hurt and hurt other people as a result of that. And so as a result, he overcorrected, thinking, oh, no, I don't have a choice. I'm defined by my circumstances. If I try to go beyond that, it just leads to more hurt for myself or for others. And so I can't do that, and I can't let anyone else do that. Whereas Miles, his opposite philosophy is, no, you do have a choice. And, like, you do have a means to do something about this. And it's just a matter of choosing to get back up when you do face the pain, but also trying to do what you can to make sure other people don't get hurt. Because, yeah, you do have a responsibility to do something if you have a means to do so. You can't just, like, again, like this, and this is a recurring theme in the first movie, where it's like, yeah, you'll get knocked down, but you're supposed to get back up when you do get knocked down. Like, you're not supposed to stay down. And from Miles' perspective, Miguel is basically just staying down.
Yeah, and what do you think? Do you actually think that Miguel O'Hara actually caused that world to disintegrate? Because I don't think he did. Like, I think he interpreted that way. I think that event that happened, I think probably was a collision with another timeline, and that's why, like, it got destroyed. Like, he just assumed that just because he was there, he was the cause of it. And I think what actually happened was a convergence, and usually when a convergence happens, when two realities crash, they either combine or they cease to exist. Mm-hmm. One of them stays alive, one of them dies, both of them dies, or they combine and create a new universe. That's what happens, like, in the comics, and that's what basically they're trying to do in the MCU, which this is connected to the MCU because they show the actual, like, the timeline from the MCU, and they also mention the MCU in here, and the Venomverse as well.
I got the impression that it was an actual result of him. If it was just that, I only believe that though because of what we saw with the Indian Spider-Man universe and how that universe started falling apart because they messed with canon. If they just given us that flashback of Miguel, I would have thought, okay, this feels a little suspicious to me. Maybe there's more to the story. But the fact that the story also gives us an actual tangible example of what happens when you mess with the canon and how that messes with the reality, I'm more inclined to believe that Miguel actually caused his reality to fall apart. But I think regardless of whether or not he actually did it, I think the main point here is that he believed he did, A, and B, that he's making the point, and I think this is still true regardless, of that your actions do have consequences. And I think that's the main point that he's trying to make, and like that's what he represents on a philosophical level. And I think he is correct, and I think that is a recurring theme we see both in this movie and the prior movie of how if you do too much if you're not careful with the power or means that you have, if you're not responsible with the power that you have, that will cause a lot of damage. I mean, just look at Kingpin and like what he tried to do, where it's like he had all this power at his disposal, and he tried to like upend his circumstances, and he nearly destroyed multiple realities as a result as well. And that's why those Spider-Man had to stop him in the first movie. So I think whether or not Miguel actually did destroy reality from his own actions, I think the main point here is that he does have a point that there are consequences to your actions, and that can definitely affect people on a multiversal level. Kind of like when he pointed out with the MCU stuff, where it's like he's pissed off at Doctor Strange for like causing a ruckus in the multiverse. He is pissed off at Grant and Miles for causing a ruckus in the multiverse because your actions do definitely affect other people. Whether it's catastrophic as he thinks it is I think what the big question is. But he definitely has a point that you do affect other people.
I agree. I agree that there are consequences. I agree that canon events are possible, that they're an actual thing. Because we do see that in the MCU as well, that the canon events, they're called something else on the MCU, but that if you try to change that, basically you can destroy reality. Mm-hmm. We see that in What If Doctor Strange does it until his reality falls apart because he's trying to change a canon event. Now, here's the thing. Mm-hmm. That canon event that he was trying to change happened in the past. Mm-hmm. And he was going back in time to change an event that already happened.
Did he go back in time? I thought he just went to another reality where the event already happened.
We're
talking about Miguel, right? Like, he went to another universe where he was already dead. And then
No, yeah, but Doctor Strange, I mean...
sorry, my bad, sorry.
In the What If story, he goes back in time and he changes the event, the canon event that was already supposed to happen so many times because it kept happening. Mm-hmm. She kept dying no matter what he tried. She kept dying.
Yep.
He did that so many times that when he actually saved her, like from the thousands of times, like the universe just fell apart. Mm-hmm. Because he disrupted the canon event. But that was in the past. That happened already. Mm-hmm. Now, here's my thing with Miguel O'Hara. It's like, I get where he's coming from, mm-hmm. but what he did is very different to what he wants everybody else to do. Mm. You know what I mean? Because he went to a different dimension where he was supposed to be dead. And that girl was supposed to live a life without her father, mm-hmm. apparently. If that is like a canon event in that world, and he changed that, I understand why the universe fell apart, right? Mm-hmm. That wasn't supposed to happen. But he created an algorithm based on past experiences of each Spider-Man from all dimensions. And he's saying that all these experiences need to happen exactly the same way for everyone else. Mm-hmm. And that is where I think he's wrong. Because these events haven't happened yet. There are universes where, like, Peter Parker doesn't even exist, or Peter Parker doesn't get beaten by the radioactive spider. Gwen does. Mm-hmm. So there are changes in those events. Like, Gwen Stacy was able to, when she revealed her identity, she was able to make her dad go away from that, so he no longer fits the archetype of the commissioner that dies, and her, right? So, or the captain that dies, sorry. So I think that the problem is that he algorithmically is predicting the future, and he's being like, we have to let that happen. And I think that's where the evil comes from.
Yes.
Because I think that's not what a hero would do. And you see it come again, right? Is the trolley problem. Who do you save? The one or the many? What does Spider-Man do in Sam Raimi? He freaking saved both! The Green Goblin was like, choose one! Your loved one or these children in this, like, freaking, like, thing. He tossed both of them, and he went for both! He went for both. He saved his loved one, and he saved the kids. Like, and he did it. And that's the amazement of the superhero, right? It's like you do not do the trolley problem. You go down there, you save that guy from the rail, and then you save the other people from the rail as well.
Yep.
And the idea of Spider-Man being like, no, we have to let that one person die so that the whole universe gets to live is kind of like, no, I have to do both. And that's Miles is being the antithesis of Spider-Man in that moment. He's being, no, you can save both. Like, and a lot of people would say like, well, that kind of makes no sense. Like, you know, but that's what superheroes are.
Yeah.
Like, superheroes are, no, let's save the one person.
Yes.
You know, over the many, even though they are gonna save the many, they are still gonna save that one person.
Yep.
Like
that's the goal of every superhero, and that's clearly Miles' goal in here. And obviously, you can't save everyone, and that's reality. But at the same time, you can't let that stop you from trying. Yes. There's that powerful line that Spider-Ham says in the first movie, and that they replay in this movie, that like the hardest part of this job is that you can't save everybody. But even though you can't save everybody, and that's reality, you still have the choice to actually try to, because you can save more than you think, and that's what this boils down to. Where Miguel is so caught up in circumstances and saying, resigning himself to his circumstances and denying his own agency, Miles is like, no, I have more agency. I have more. I'm not going to let. I acknowledge these circumstances, but I still acknowledge that I also have a choice in this matter, and so I have more agency. Where like Miguel thinks he has no agency, and therefore no one else does too. Like it's all defined by circumstances. Where Miles is like, no, I have agency. I have choices. My circumstances are important, but I will not let that stop me from doing what I want to do or what I need to do. And that's like the big clash of their philosophies right here.
Exactly, and it. Dude, you made me think about the scene at the end, where because you mentioned the Spider Porker thing. That scene at the end where everything is falling apart and like he's swinging and everything is like morphing around him, and like it's such a visual representation of his world view falling apart. Like his whole. Everything that he believed in, all the things that, like, the people that he loved, right, are following him, like, all the things that, like, he missed them and everything, his world is literally falling apart behind him as he swings. Oh my god, it's so good! Like, you can't, like, I mean, you can try to do that in live action, but I think it's not gonna, I don't know if it's gonna, like, look... I don't know if people are going to understand what's going on in the moment, right? Because in this moment, like, I accepted that reality. For a second, I was like, what's going on? And then I was like, no, this is happening in his mind. His world is falling apart, and they're showing us his world falling apart. Oh, it's so beautiful. I was like, wow, like, this movie, like, even at the end, I think the beginning and the end has such a artistic interpretation of film. It's just like what's going on screen. It's like it was amazing.
Yep. And I think another powerful thing that I really enjoy about this movie, like going back to you pointing out how the theme is like, how one of the themes is being more honest with the people around you and therefore changing the narrative as a result. I think going even deeper into that, I feel like a key theme, or at least a key interpretation I saw from this movie, is just dealing with one's own loneliness and how, yes, like they make the point in both Miles and Gwen of how like the life of a superhero is very, very lonely, and how they both thought they could find a solution to their loneliness by like finding a collective of spider people like them, like finding the spider collective, but then also realizing, oh, this also isn't the satisfaction for the loneliness that I wanted. Like these people also failed me, and like don't really vibe with me the way I wanted it to. And like, and they kind of were both under this impression that they were like, oh man, am I just like doomed to this fate of like being a superhero when no one understands me? I had to like push these people away from me. No one gets me. Blah blah blah. But then, like again, like their circumstances seem to dictate. Yeah, this is like they're doomed to this life of loneliness because that's what a superhero is quote unquote cursed to. But then they both upend that by making the choice in the midst of that circumstances. They both make a choice to be more honest with the people around them, be more honest with their loved ones, to be like, hey, this is what's going on right now. I feel like this, and I'm hiding so much, and it's just I feel a lot of pressure, I feel a lot of pain, and I don't know what to do with it. And then they get the acceptance that we're hoping for. Like, especially Gwen. Like, Gwen especially got that with her and her dad, and like you could tell that that's what Miles is going to get as well. But like, Gwen really got the acceptance that she was looking for this whole movie, just like wanting to be accepted for who she was from start to finish, from being a normal person to being a spider person. She got that acceptance from her dad, and by having that acceptance, like you said, that changed the narrative. Not only did that save Gwen's dad from like the fate of being a dead chief of police, but that also empowered Gwen to reaffirm her own identity and empowered her to go out and do what she wanted to. Because the movie started with her being like, oh, I just want to be in a band, I want to be in a place where people accept me, I want to like be a part of something, and like that fell apart when like she joined the Spider Collective. But then after she had this redemptive moment with her dad and like re-understood her own identity, she went out and made her own band of spider people to go out and save Miles. So like that's exactly what she wanted this whole time, and the only reason she was able to do it so was by actually being honest about her own pain and her own loneliness, and that really helped her feel on a visceral level, oh no, I'm not as alone as I think I am, so therefore I'm empowered to make more choices than I think I do. I'm not resigned to this fate of being a lonely superhero. I can be an empowered individual who's loved by others and who can connect with others and lead others and be a part of a team of people that actually accept me and know me. Yeah, exactly. I think the what you mentioned is like that loneliness, that sadness. You always try to look for other people to fulfill that, and you're like, well, no, you have to. There are already people that love you and accept you where you are. It's just that you decided not to be open with them. Yeah, you need to give them a chance to do so, otherwise you're hurting yourself in the long run. Exactly, and like that's always been like a deal with me, right? It's like, why would you have a secret identity from your family and friends? That's always been like a little bit with me with Spider-Man. A little bit of a beef I have with the original take on it is like of him keeping the secret identity with everybody that he loves. Right? I always like when he reveals it to them. Like I like it. I like the MCU where it's like he didn't. Like, the first thing he did was, like, reveal it to his best friend, you know? Like, I mean, it didn't happen, he didn't say it, but his friend found out. Like, right? And I think all your friends would find out if you're, like, a superhero. Come on. Like if you are a superhero, sorry, your parents have to... Like, your parents know. Like, my parents know things, like, without me telling them sometimes. I love that moment in the MCU when, like, Aunt May finds out just by, like, walking in on Peter, like, unmasking himself, and she's like, what the? And, like, that's exactly what would happen if you're a real, like, teenage superhero trying to keep a secret identity. Your parents will find out, so there's no point in trying. Yeah, like, if your dad or mom is gonna walk inside the room without asking or knocking, and they're gonna be like, oh, what? Not what I was expecting when I was walking in on you, but I guess it's better than I thought it was going to be. Yeah, but here's the thing. Another thing that I think we need to talk about is what do you think about? I like Spider-Punk, right? Mm-hmm.
and I've seen the comic book, right? And the reason he's an anarchist, but the anarchy is against like an actual like evil corporations within the universe. Like they're like this universe is like controlled by like actual like evil people, and so he's an anarchist taking down a evil institution. So what do you think? What do you think about anarchy? Like, what do you think about like Spider-Man, a Spider-Man that promotes anarchy and kind of wants anarchy to happen within even that organization that they made of Spider-Man?
Again, it's one of those things where, like, it's taken to extreme. I don't vibe with it, but, like, when it's more nuanced and balanced, I can see good in it, and I see that good, especially in this movie, where it's like, I appreciate it. I appreciate Hobie. I appreciate Spider-Punk as being, like, an unexpected mentor figure for Miles, because Miles' main problem going into this movie is that, like, again, going back to what we were talking about before, he was feeling very lonely and insecure, and thought he could find that resolution by putting himself as part of the Spider Collective and like being accepted and all that, and like finding his happiness there. But as we come to discover, he didn't find his happiness in that. And I think part of the reason he realized that, I think, was his interactions with Spider-Punk. So I think Spider-Punk helped him realize, no, you can be more of an individual than you're acting like, buddy. Like, you don't need to put your blind faith in this corporation or blind faith in all these people and assume that, like, they'll satisfy you, because that's, like, the wrong way of doing things. And that's exactly how we get these, like, evil governments into power, by putting our blind faith in these people. Think for yourself a little bit more, try to be more of your own individual, and then you'll see what you actually can and can't place your trust in. So, like, in a more nuanced look at it, it kind of reminds me of, like, on the, when we've talked about the idea of stoicism on the Overthinkers podcast, with this whole idea of, like, no, you shouldn't let other people influence you too easily. Stop and think about what you're doing. Stop and look at yourself a little bit more, as opposed to looking at everybody else. And when you have more of that foundation in you, you're able to navigate life a little bit easier. You're not so easily swayed. And so the good I see in Spider-Punk is, like, he's that stoic kind of individual where he knows who he is, he knows who he wants. He's not going to blindly accept the collective just because it's a collective. Like, he's going to have some level of suspicion for it. Now, of course, taking it to extreme, where it's just pure anarchy, and you have a suspicion of every single collective, and where you don't want to cooperate and do anything, or just want to do your own thing, that's obviously bad. But I think in this movie, in this context, he brings a healthy sort of counterbalance to the idea that Miles was having to begin with, where he thought, oh, this will just be unequivocally good by, like, trusting this collective, where it's like, no, I need to actually think for myself a little bit more and trust myself a little bit more and be willing to clash with this collective, where it clashes, where it starts to do things that I don't really agree with.
Yeah, I think it's played, the anarchy in this is played as a joke, but also as a, like, as you said, like, if it's balanced, when he's actually, like, I think because he joined the team, right? I think he was joined the team, and then I think he sees, like, he's been studying, like he said, like, I'm studying the enemy, right? And it's like, he's been studying to see if what they were doing was right, I think, right? Yes. Because that's what, like, I feel like anarchy, right? The anarchists, right? If you kind of see it as a black and white thing, which is what the comic book he comes from, is very black and white, because the anarchists are the good guys and the corporations are legitimately evil. Mm-hmm. Like, they're not these corporations that are good. Like, they're the Norman Osborn's corporations, you know. Mm-hmm. Like, they're actually like evil, and all the superheroes are kind of like in this anarchy kind of thing, because they're trying to fight against this evil corporations. Mm-hmm. And that's what the world he's coming from. So I think you gotta understand the context of the comic book he's coming from, and not judge him based on like what we conceive as anarchy, because the anarchy that we conceive is more nuanced than the anarchy that what he's coming from. Like, we know that, and we know that a lot of these universes are more simplistic. I mean, Spider Porker comes from a cartoon world. In his world, he can, like, freaking throw an anvil on someone and they're gonna be fine. It's like, and like, And that's not very violent in his world. Rather, like if you try it in Gwen's universe, you're gonna kill someone.
Right.
Like that's gonna be seen as bad, right? And the same thing with the vulture that came into the world. Like Gwen was like, "Hey, be careful, your papers. Like, don't use fire." You know, because like he's using fire like on this universe, and she's like, "Your paper, dude." So it's like. It's also seeing the context of what comic book they're coming from, and it's like understanding that, I think.
Which is very reminiscent of real life, where like you gotta understand the story context of like every person you come to meet. Where it's like, we kind of are quick to assume something about someone just by this little glimpse that we see of them, but we don't have their full story. And in fairness, we're never gonna have someone's complete story, but you got to keep in mind that like there's always more to a story that you think you know. So you gotta be humble and you gotta keep that like in mind when you do interact with people and when you do engage with people, being like, okay, maybe there's a reason why he said this, or maybe there's a reason why he thinks that. I shouldn't immediately assume the worst in them. Be willing to give people the benefit of the doubt because there's a whole story behind them that you don't know about, a whole context for them.
Yeah, I see a lot of people like saying that Miguel O'Hara is evil, and I'm like, I don't think he's evil. No. Like
he's just overcorrecting. He's not evil at all.
Yeah. No, like he thinks he has a belief, and he believes he's right, and he says it at the end. He's like, "We are the heroes." Like, because Gwen is like, "We're supposed to be the heroes," and then he's like, "We are the heroes," and then he's like, and I think he's reassuring himself. Mm-hmm. I am the hero, and he's reassuring other people, we are the heroes. Mm-hmm. Like, we are. Like, you gotta understand where he's coming from as well, like, right? Because people don't, a lot of people, again, they don't know who Miguel O'Hara is. Like, and the movies are trying to introduce characters that not a lot of people know, and they're trying to introduce them in really short way where it's like compact and you can understand it. But you gotta also look at his backstory. He is he didn't want to be Spider-Man. He was like, he literally was, well, I know Spider-Man wanted to be Spider-Man, but his story is more tragic because he was betrayed by the company. He wasn't bitten by a radioactive spider. He was literally thrown into like an explosion with a radioactive spider by his employer because he wanted like some fair treatment or something like that. There was something, he was getting mistreated at work, and he wanted to get fairness and whatever, and his employer just kind of like just pushed him into, his employer wanted to kill him. So he was gonna get killed by his employer, and that's how he got his powers. I think it's implied in this movie as well that he needs to take like some kind of
serum or
like
something.
Serum. Yeah. To, I don't know if it's to keep him like
sane,
alive.
I don't know.
Or sane, or like I didn't understand that very well.
I'm sure they'll get into the next movie.
Yeah, some people have interpreted that as him injecting the spider venom onto him, like the spider powers onto him, and then some other people have interpreted it as a healing thing because he doesn't actually have the healing factor that Spider-Man has, so he has to like heal himself, probably. But
yeah, in a nutshell, Miguel, compared to other Spider-Men, this is just a much more jaded character, and when you know his story, you completely understand why he's jaded. And it doesn't make him evil, it just means that he has an easier time seeing the big picture, what some Spider-Men struggle with, and that's like exactly why he's like brought into the fold, and exactly why his narrative is a fresh take on Spider-Man, because he sees the bigger picture a little bit. But like, yeah, the problem is that he can miss the forest in a tree sometime. But that doesn't make him evil. It just means that he's experienced a lot of pain, and because he's experienced a lot of pain, he's fully aware of the consequences people can have, especially people as a whole can have, on other people as a whole. And so that's why he tries his best to try to maintain that balance and that order. And like, I love how the internet has already been quick to point out how this is not the first time you've seen Miguel pulls something like this. Like, if you played the Spider-Man video games, there's that Spider-Man video game, Edge of Time, where, like, this exact same scene, this exact same interaction happens, where, like, Peter Parker of the past, or of the present, like, finds out that Mary Jane is supposed to die or something, and so, like, he tries to, like, resolves to try to prevent that timeline from happening, or try to prevent that from happening, but Miguel, who's, like, talking with him through time, tries to argue against that, being like, no, like, this is how time is supposed to go. If you mess with that, you'll make things even worse than they already are, because, like, the whole reason we're able to even talk right now to begin with is because people were being reckless with time and caused these problems to begin with, so it might be problematic if you try to go against time even further by saving Mary Jane. And, of course, Peter goes against this and does save Mary Jane. But, like, you totally understand where Miguel is coming from, because he's seen time and again how even people use their power, are being irresponsible with their powers, and therefore cause problems for everyone else. So that's why Miguel is especially keen on people being responsible with their powers and maintaining that.
And Miguel comes from a world where, or in his world, Spider-Man already existed, and he was a fan of Spider-Man. Mm-hmm. So he's a fan of Spider-Man, and he chooses to be a Spider-Man, even though his powers are not similar to Spider-Man. They're very different. He has, like, very different powers to Spider-Man, but he's like, I admire this hero. I want to be like this hero. But he is not like other Spider-Man. He's more violent. He resorts to a little bit more of brute force, because his body is made that way. He has claws. He literally, like, claws come out of his hands.
Yep.
And it's like, even if he tries not to be, the instinct he has in him is more animal than what the other Spider-Mans have.
And he's just more straightforward, I think, as a result, or, like, prone to subterfuge more in ways than the other Spider-Men normally are. Because, like, the other day, like, I saw this comic book page, like, out of context, and, like gave a good glimpse into Miles' character, where, like, Miles is, like, fighting some random supervillain, trying to protect the scientist woman at the same time, and the supervillain's like, hey, Spider-Man, I don't have a beef with you. If you just let me kill this lady, I'll let you go, and, like, we can, like, be done with this and wash our hands. And Miles is like, okay, cool, I don't have any attachment to this lady, you can go ahead and kill this woman for all I care, like, that's fine, whatever. But then in the next page, he obviously used it as a trick to, like, get behind the guy and, undo, trap him or whatever. Like, he was totally fine, like, playing the bad guy because he's very logical in that sense, and again, very jaded, but he just uses that as a means to be very underhanded and, like, actually beat the bad guy in more, like, in more underhanded ways, which is more than what you might see Peter Parker might do.
He's very sarcastic. Like, he's being sarcastic. He's like, yeah, sure, I'm gonna let you kill this lady. You know, he's being sincere about it, but you know that he's actually, like, you can be shocked for a second, but you know that, like, that's not what he's gonna actually do.
Right.
And which what I love about, and one of the things I love about Spider-Man, right, and the character, is the fact that he talks to his villains. Like, he talks to them. Like, he doesn't only quip them. He doesn't only tell them jokes and stuff like that. He sometimes lets their guard down, right, and starts actually talking about why they're doing what they're doing. Mm-hmm. And you know, I feel like this movie is exploring the idea of Spider-Man itself. Like, what is to be Spider-Man?
Yeah.
What is it to be Spider-Man? And who, like, it's not about who's right or who's wrong. I think it's more about, like, at the end of the day, they need to learn from each other,
yeah.
I think.
Are you willing to engage?
And I think we're going to have, like, an all-out war between two Spider-Man sides, right? And I think at the end, they're going to come together. Mm-hmm. And they're going to be like, they're going to notice, or they're going to learn. Like, I think Miguel's going to say, like, oh, we're right. We don't have to follow this future timeline that hasn't happened yet. But I do think that we still need to be careful with how we go around our universes, right?
Yeah.
We can't just we can coexist. I think we can coexist, but like we need to be careful of what we do in those universes.
And I think that's exactly what Miguel or what Miles and Gwen will acknowledge on their side when they come to a reconciliation with Miguel, where it's like, okay, yeah, we fully acknowledge how much we too have screwed up with the multiverse, and we also acknowledge how much the Spot is screwing up in the multiverse by being irresponsible with his powers. So Miguel, you do have a point. We do have to be responsible in how we operate with these things. But yeah, but also like you just said, Miguel acknowledges, no, we do have more of a choice in the matter. We can coexist. Yes. It's like both sides will come together and unify in their fight against the Spot.
To fight the Spot. Yes. Yeah, exactly. And I think they both will learn the lesson.
Yes.
In that fight with the Spot. Because here's the thing. I think the Moonbatten thing could have been the Spot. Mm-hmm. It is possible. You know why? It's because the reason I think about it, right, is because the way they presented the Miguel universe destroying or ceasing to exist,
it did look
was
different.
Not the same. It was not the same of what was happening in Moonbatten. Like the thing that was happening in Moonbatten was the collider energy that they explained that Miguel explained was sending other people to other universes. Like, because there is something that is sending. Like the opening, the rift that was caused by the collider, by the collider, is the thing that is causing villains to jump from different dimensions. Like that's why we see that in that's what happened to Venom. Venom wasn't sent to the Marvel universe because of the events of No Way Home. Because of the events of No Way Home, he was sent to that universe because of the events of Spider-Verse, because of the Collider. Because for him, he didn't know Spider-Man. Like, he didn't know Peter Parker. But he was transported to this other world because of the events of the Collider. And that's what, basically, they retroactively have corrected the error of those other movies. Where it's like, they were, like, it was kind of getting confusing. It was the same thing with Morpheus. It's like, why did, like, the Vulture come into Morpheus' world out of nowhere? You know, it's like, why is he on Morpheus' world? It's because the portals have been opening up like that, like they did in Moonbatten. And it's like that, I think the Spot is causing now those rifts that the Collider caused. But they're destructive because he's taking, like, right? And because basically you can see it as kind of like the universe is opening and giving, right? The universe is giving something, right? But now he's taking from the universe, so that's he's taken away from it. Like, and you see, like, in his design how, like, he's taking from the universe, like, these, like, the black stuff, you know. I think that he caused that in Moonbatten to happen. And Miguel interpret that as, that it's because of the canon events. Like, the canon event didn't happen, so that's what happens when that happens. And I think...
Yeah, that's fair. That makes sense.
I think he's wrong. Yeah, I think... he's probably right about messing with dead people. But dead people should not be messed with.
But yeah, he's very quick to apply his own narrative universally when acting like he has all the answers. When clearly not anyone in the multiverse has all the answers about the multiverse.
Exactly. That's very true. And I'd like to see if they actually introduce the actual web of Life and Destiny, which is a comic book thing.
Yeah, I'm surprised we also haven't seen Madam Web yet. I was kind of expecting a cameo from her as well.
Yeah, no, because she is the one that holds the plays in the actual time, like the actual cosmic, basically the cosmic reality of the web of Life and Destiny. Like, I think Miguel stumbled across it and he is trying to make sense of something that only a cosmic being can understand. I think he's like trying to understand something that only like physically like someone higher than him can only comprehend. And he's trying to comprehend that, right? It's the same reason. It's the same way like we can't comprehend how choices and predestination can both work together.
It's way above our pay grade.
Exactly. It makes no sense in our heads, but it makes sense to God, you know? So it's like Miguel can't understand destiny, like, or how it works. And he definitely, basically, I think he is seeing this, and he's not taking into consideration the choices that people make.
Yes.
Because Madam Web goes in, and she takes people out from their realities, from their destinies, and go, hey, I need you to do this for me. Like, there's this problem. If this problem doesn't get solved, this universe is going to get destroyed. Like, that is, in fact, changing destiny. Because it's taking people from their destinies to save another destiny. So it's like, is that, like, hold on, wait, what? So is that always supposed to, was that always supposed to happen? Or is this, like, an actual choice that people are making to, is she making a choice for them to make the choice of helping the other people in that other reality? So it's like,
and I think this is where, and maybe this with the next movie will go into it, because like from this movie especially, and even the first movie, they're kind of taking a more scientific, logical look at the multiverse.
Yeah.
But now we're getting to the point where like it's like, oh no, there's lots that doesn't make sense, and so there might be more faith and mysticism applied to this than we actually really thought. And so maybe this is like, again, maybe this will be part of Miguel's story arc in the next movie. Like, there's more of a leap of faith involved in this than we actually initially thought there was, which will, again, would make sense and be consistent with the themes of this franchise, because that was the recurring theme of the first movie, where both Miles and even Peter Parker had this moment where like, oh, I need to take a leap of faith. I don't know if I'm doing the right thing or not, or I don't know if things will go well or not, but my choice right now is to make this leap of faith and just go with things. And that will empower me to do what I actually need to do. And I think that's about what these characters are about to learn on a multiversal level now.
I'm very excited to actually see where this story goes. Like, every single thing in this movie was so good. Like the Lego the Lego part, I was not expecting that, man.
That was so fun.
I was not. Just seeing it, like, I thought it was just gonna be like a little cameo thing, where like just saw it, he pops in, he pops out, but we come back to it. Like, we come back to it, and Peter Parker's like walking, and he's like talking to like everybody, and he calls Miguel O'Hara on the elevator.
It's like, good job, Peter. You truly are the best of us.
Yeah.
And I love how they actually got an actual 14-year-old kid to animate this. Like
yes.
This is so amazing.
Yes, and like I for a second I was like, oh, he stop motion animate? No, he's an animator on YouTube. He does like the kind of like the Lego movie kind of animations. And he makes, wow, he's really good at it. Like dude, like the animations of this guy, like I was subscribed to him. Like I didn't know it was him. They were talking about the 14-year-old until he put it on his like history thing. His like, yes, it's official. Like, I animated that part in the Lego the Spider-Man movie. Oh, that's so cool.
That's amazing.
That's so cool. That's so awesome. I think all the universes were cool. Like, there was the universe. He also traveled to the universe like of like the comic books on the 50s. Universe as well. Like, the animation is spectacular in every single universe.
Yep.
Like, it's so crazy that he went to the Venomverse as well. That interaction with live action was. And Donald Glover
as the Prowler.
Like,
yeah, those live action cameos were just like so seamless with the animation. It was so good.
Oh my gosh, that was so fun. Seeing Spectacular Spider-Man as well.
Yes, I was so hyped. I was like, oh no! I was like, oh my boy, Spectacular Spider-Man. They even gave him a voice line too. Josh Keaton.
They did.
It was so good to hear you again, boy.
I'm glad we were right. I'm glad when we saw I'm glad that when we saw the poster had that Spider-Man.
Yeah.
It's like, that kind of looks like Spectacular. Like, that kind of looks like Spectacular. And he was Spectacular. It was like, oh, yes.
So glorious.
And he's so short, man. He's a short king.
He was.
He's the shortest Spider-Man there. It was so funny.
It makes me really excited to see what they're going to do in the next movie, because like they've already done such amazing like cameos and looks into universes in this movie. It really makes you wonder what they're going to do in the next one, because their sky's the limit.
It seems like Spectacular's gonna go to Miles' team, because we see like a lot of Spider-Mans are gonna choose between Miguel and Miles in the next movie, and like if you see the poster kind of shows you. Like, Miles is in the middle, right? Mm-hmm. And then you got his allies on one side, and you got Gwen on one side, and you got Miguel on the other side. And we know that Gwen is gonna be an ally, and you see Peter B. Parker there as well. So you know those are the allies, and then you see Spider-Punk is on this side as well, helping. And you see Miguel over here with the other Spider-Mans, all these other Spider-Mans. So it kind of seems like Spectacular, you see him on that side as well with Gwen. So it could be,
I would love that, because I would certainly want to see more of him. And I want to see, like, and I've told you this to you before, but, like, what I want just, like, a No Way Home kind of moment, but with, like, the animated Spider-Man. So, like, we see Daniel Barr, OG 90 Spider-Man, next to Spectacular Spider-Man, and, like, any other famous animated Spider-Man, just, like, talking with each other, doing some quips, or, like, helping Miles with something. I just want to hear them.
The fact that look, when Penny Parker was in the first movie, nobody know who the heck Penny Parker was.
Yeah.
I know who Penny Parker was. Like, I'm a comic book fan. I know who she was. I read Spider-Verse. I've read Spider-Verse before I watched that movie. Seeing her was cool. I was like, cool. And the robot, I was like, okay. I'll accept this design because the design is cute. It's cute. This movie gave me the actual mecha from the comic book.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh! When she put that thing on, I was like, holy crap!
Yep.
This is the best thing ever.
Yep.
Like, they did it. They put on the actual mecha from the comic books. And she was more dark. She was darker, if you notice her. Like, she was like a little bit older.
Definitely older. Definitely did not look happy. And like she was
did not look happy.
She was like, she was a part of the crew that like was trying to stop Miles, and she did not look happy about that at all.
No, because and what I love about her character is that like in the comic books, she wasn't this like hyper cute hyper person that they showed like in the first movie. She's actually pretty depressing character. Like she's a huge, because she's based on like she's a manga. Like her world is manga, so it's like an anime world. Yeah. You know, anime kids are not happy.
Nope. No, never.
They're in these worlds, in the mecha worlds. I mean, like mecha worlds are really depressing. They're teenagers being forced to pilot Gundams.
Yep. Neon Genesis Evangelion all over again.
Yeah. And basically in her world, like her parents are basically, or her aunt and uncle, like Aunt May and Uncle Ben, are basically forcing her to be like to pilot this thing. Like she wants to, because she wants to be like her dad, but she's a little kid.
Yeah.
They basically are like, okay, your dad is dead, now you take the mantle and be the hero for us. And
so not sunshines and rainbows.
Yeah, no, it's kind of messed up, and it's so fun to actually see it now on screen. I was like, Yes, this is the one from the comics. Let's go.
Yep. And like you can tell, this is like definitely their intention, because it was funny like seeing in the first movie how they made a big deal about like how her mecha quote unquote died in the first one, like they gave it so much gravitas, and like you can tell that was the intention, where it's like, okay, this is the moment where like she kind of starts to grow up, and like this is the moment where like we actually like will make her become what she's meant to become, what you see fulfilled in this next movie.
Yes, I love that. I love that.
And speaking of mecha, talking about what I want to see in the next movie, I really want to see the Japanese Spider-Man show up, announce himself as the emissary of darkness, and then summon his giant Megazord, Leopardon, and just like jumps into the fray of whatever massive battle they're doing, and everyone's just like, what is happening? Why does Spider-Man have a Megazord?
Yes, I want that so bad. Please give it to me.
Like, I remember that was a thing in the Spider-Verse comics, and it was so cool in the comics, and I want to see that again.
I want to see it, because it's like... Because that's an actual, like, show that they had in Japan.
Yep.
It's live action. It was live action.
Yep.
It was so funny.
Yep.
Because when you translated, like, this Spider-Man... he's basically... It's so funny what he says. Like, it's like, I am the adversary of Dr. like, what the heck are you talking about?
And I just want to see him do the most bizarre things like you see in clips of the show. Like, I think there's one random clip where, like, he just straight up pulls out a gun on someone, and you're just like, what?
Yeah!
Spider-Man, what?
He just pulls out a gun, that is the most unhinged Spider-Man ever. Like, he's so unhinged.
It'll be so glorious to see that animated, because I know they'll do that well. Seeing an unhinged Spider-Man just doing the most wacky stuff. Like, we thought it was wacky seeing Spider-Ham in this. We thought it was weird seeing like Spider-Punk in his animation style. But just seeing this live-action Japanese unhinged Spider-Man just pull out guns and summon robots, we'll just like send everyone for a loop, and it'll be hilarious to watch.
Yes, I'm so excited for that. You know, some of the people in my theater were like, "What? It's over?" And I was like, "Yeah, there's a part 2, guys.
Yep.
It's on all the promotional material." It seems like people like didn't realize. A lot of people didn't realize that there was like a part 1.
Like, this is what I'm wondering, because I didn't look into. I knew about the part. I knew it was going to be divided into 2 parts because they announced that like early on in production. But like in all the trailers and marketing they've done recently, how much have they actually mentioned that? I didn't look at the recent trailers because I didn't watch them because I wanted to go in the movie blind. Yeah. But I wasn't. But like okay. But like how much did they actually say so?
So it says like Spider-Verse Across the Spider-Verse, and then it glitches out and it says part 1.
Okay.
So it's like. They are promoting it as a movie, like a standalone movie, so it's like a trilogy. But basically they are saying in the trailers, it is a part 1, there's a part 2 to this, so it's like a direct sequel, like Endgame and Infinity Wars are 2 movies, but they are basically part 1, part 2. Like, Infinity Wars ends on a massive cliffhanger for the next year to end on Endgame. So it's the same way. It's the same thing. And it's also like Empire, you know, like from Star Wars. Like Empire Strikes Back. And they have described it like that as well. Some critics have described it like that, and they're described it like that on their trailers. And like, yeah, it was pretty apparent that it was gonna have a massive cliffhanger. Like, they made it really clear that this was gonna have a cliffhanger. But I heard a lot of people whining in my theater. Anyways, I was like,
I had the same thing in my theater. So I think maybe some people just need to see it on a poster or something. Like if you're saying like what you said, it sounds like they did in trailers, which is great. But maybe people are thrown out just because they didn't see like a big glaring part 1 on the poster or something. I don't know.
Yeah. But I think that's ugly. It's ugly to put part 1 on your title. It's like, I'm very curious about it. You do know that the Spider-Man was supposed to be Miguel, right? Miles in that dimension, the 42 dimension.
Yes.
Yeah. Like the spider was supposed to be that Miles Morales from that dimension. A lot of people are kind of confused about that too when the movie shows it to you. Like at the beginning, I guess it's really fast. I guess it's like one of the criticisms that Joe had with the movie was that it was too hyperactive. But since my mind is really hyperactive because of my ADHD, I was able to comprehend everything that was going on.
And if anything, to me, that just means it lends itself to a rewatch, which I feel like is kind of like, that's a good thing. Like, if you don't catch everything the first time, just watch it again. That's fine. We only had everything spoon-fed to you.
Exactly. I really enjoyed that. I think... I don't know if you saw Joe's review on it.
No, I didn't.
But... So like he reviewed it saying that it was kind of like the continuation of Hollywood saying that authority is bad and it needs to be taken down or whatever, which is, I don't know, that's what the movie was trying to say.
I can see how you can kind of get that, but I felt like, and maybe they just haven't built it on enough. But again, I feel like this is kind of like building up to a nuance where it's like, both sides have a point that they're going to learn from each other. Maybe they're leaning too hard on like the anti-authority on this side, but I feel like that's exactly what they're setting up for the next movie to get into. But yeah, I didn't feel like this is that anarchist. No.
No, yeah, I don't. I didn't feel like just because there was a anarchist Spider-Man, I didn't think this is an anarchist story. I think no, like no. This is Gwen's story. Gwen is like, hey, it's not the anarchist Spider-Man story. He's not like, and I don't think he's pushing his anarchy on anyone.
Yeah.
I think he literally just was like, it was really cute when he's like, that's an anarchist baby. It's like,
oh yeah, and like if anything else, the plot of this movie hinges around saving multiple authority figures, and I'd say that the only quote unquote authority in this movie is Miguel, but like he's a self-proclaimed authority, like we're just saying.
Exactly.
He's acting like he knows everything, but like we're pointing out, he clearly doesn't know as much as he thinks he does, and his problem is that he doesn't realize that himself.
And that's what I try to tell Joe, but like I was like, Joe, I know you had a movie create.
Like you're the professional critic. I want to tell you how to do your job, but
exactly. I was like, I don't want to tell you how to do your job, but I think Miguel O'Hara is not meant to represent authority. I think he's meant to represent like someone who thinks he knows what he's doing and has the authority because everybody else thinks that he is right because he's the only one with the experience of a fallen universe. So he's self-proclaimed, like you mentioned, like a self-proclaimed authority.
So it's like less distrust of authority and more distrust of like people of older generations who have raised us who like think they have all the answers, and like we're starting to like question that. And so this movie felt more like that as opposed to all authority is bad. Just more like, no, we have some questions that you haven't really acknowledged.
And Miles follows, and here's the thing, like that is a really great point actually, because Miles follows the authority of his parents. Yeah. He in no moment he's like, oh, I am not doing these things because I want to fight the authority of my parents. Like I don't want to listen to them. Like he's not doing that. He's like being Spider-Man, and that is causing friction with the authority of his parents. Like he's not legitimately trying to disobey or not listen to them. He's just being Spider-Man.
Yes. Now, of course, there was that one moment where he disobeyed being grounded and went out on that date with Gwen, but that had immediate consequences that he felt bad for. And then when he got further punished, I got the impression he's prepared to follow that, but then his mom was like, no, go ahead, you'll be punished when you come back, go follow Gwen and do your thing. So, like, he didn't, he had some problems, but, like, he wasn't outright disrespectful.
Exactly, because he lives in a Puerto Rican household. You can just not be disrespectful to your parents. Like I think, and that's such a nuanced thing, right? Because I think as an American, you're gonna be like, as an American, saying whatever to your parents is not a big deal, but saying whatever to your parent, to a Puerto Rican mom, is basically blasphemy.
Yeah.
So it's like, you gotta say, "Si, mama." Yes, mom. Like, you gotta.
Yeah, like that moment in the movie where Miles did that, and like you saw the anger flare up in your eyes, like you just felt that, like, ooh.
And then everybody turned around because everybody in that building is basically from that community. It's like everybody's like, "What do you say?" It's like, so you see that authority is not being, like trying to be taken down, like. Even when Stacy, like, she's also not trying to fight the authority of her parents. So, like, authority is not being trying to take it. This movie, I don't think it's about taking down authority.
No, this movie is just about a newer generation trying to grapple with the older generation, and both sides are trying to learn to give a little.
Exactly, and you can see it in when Gwen comes along and says the names of his parents instead of saying sir or stuff like that. It's like. And my parents had to get used to that as well because they were always used to hearing, like, Mr. Raymond or, like, stuff like that or sir. But my friends would just call them by their names. And like, I was like, okay. My parents were like, oh, I don't like that. But it's like, well, you know, it's like... It's a thing. And
that's so funny because, like, that's pretty much the opposite for me. Like, with my friends, where, like, I would specifically call his Spanish mom and white dad, like, by their last names, like Mr. DeCipio, Mrs. Scipio, whatever. And they're like, no, Nathan, just call us by our first names. We know you forever now. Just call us by our names.
Yeah, no, like, you have access to the name. You have access to the name when you are close to the family. Yeah. It's like the Japanese, kind of like the Japanese culture where it's like, you only call people by the last name unless you, like, have, like, a familial bond.
Yeah, very much so.
But yeah. Well, this has been fun conversation, about this movie. I don't know. I think it's a 5 stars, man. I think it's a 10 out of 10. It's just a good movie. Good. I think it has a good message. I think it presents two ideas very well, and you don't feel like one of them is the villain. I feel like you know that the Spot is the actual villain, but you also kind of see his point as well. Like, you see his perspective as well. But you know that he's actually doing really bad stuff. Yes. He's the actual villain of the story. It's just that we haven't gotten there yet.
Yes.
Like, we haven't gotten there yet.
Like, you get a glimpse of it, because, like, you can tell his character revolves around the fact that he's been disregarded his whole life and hates being disregarded. Kind of like Electro in Amazing Spider-Man 2 or whatever. So it's like, and he's lashing out as a result of that. And, like, again, that kind of fits with, like, the main theme of this movie, how, like, Miguel was disregarding Miles and all of that. So, like,
but actually... better.
Yeah.
Like, it's better than the Electro from Spider-Man 2.
Yes.
Because, like, the problem I had with that is how fast he turned. Because if he was being treated like Miles treated the Spot, if he was like, if the Electro was kind of like, Spider-Man, please, I'm sorry, I'm, like, doing these things, an accident, it's an accident and stuff like that, and just Spider-Man continues to fight him and try to, like, hurt him and stuff like that, and he's, like, not listening to him, like Miles did, then I would have seen that turned into Electro being a villain. That would have been better. Because it was handled so much better in this movie because of Miles' choices. Because of him not taking him seriously. He basically made him want to be even more powerful. Now you gotta listen to me. Now you gotta look at me.
Yep.
I am your nemesis. Look how I am gonna be taking away the things that you love.
And like and again, it goes back to like talking about how much people can let their circumstances make the choices for them. Because he was like, oh well, I turned into this monstrosity, so I lost my job. No one will accept me. No one will give me a job. No one likes me. So it means my circumstances say I have to be a supervillain, and so I'm trying to accept this role. And then you, Miles, are like disregarding me, saying I'm a good villain at all, which pisses me off even more. And what's made me double down into the circumstances that have been chosen for me into being a supervillain. So like he thinks that he thinks he's doing a good job by making the only choice available to him, and then Miles is like, "Nah, you're so bad at that, buddy," and then that just makes him want to double down even more into it.
Yeah, I think the answer to this villain was a hug. Honestly, and an apology.
Yeah,
because I think that's all he wanted. He was to acknowledge, hey, you made me this way. It's your fault.
Yeah,
and he was coming at it. I don't think he was coming at it very antagonistically.
No, he just wanted Miles to take responsibility for his actions, and Miles was not acknowledging him.
Yeah, he was really friendly about it. In fact, like, when he's, like, stealing the machine, he's like, hey, dude, like, he's trying to, like, it's like, it's like people are not listening to him, and I love that. I love that aspect of it, because sometimes in real life, people don't listen. They just look at they see a monster.
Yep.
They see a monster, they see a person that they can't relate to, and that's where discrimination comes along, right?
Yep.
Like, they see a person they don't relate to, they don't understand, and they go on with violence, right?
And then that makes that person react, being like, okay, fine, I guess I'll be the monster you think I am, and then maybe then you'll listen to me finally.
Exactly, because even when he's stealing the machine, or when he's trying to steal the machine, he's trying to explain to the person, and I understand wanting to defend your store, right?
Right.
Like, obviously I understand that guy, but he's trying to explain, hey, like, I had an accident, like, nobody wants to help me, my family, like, disowned me, like, no job wants to accept me because of how I look like.
And, like, he's even like, I'm not even trying to hurt you. I'm not even robbing from you. I'm just robbing from this machine. That's not even yours.
Exactly.
It's belongs to the bank. Like, he's trying to be cordial. He's trying to be logical. And then things escalate when Miles shows up and disregards him.
Yeah, because he's like, I'm not stealing from you. Like, he didn't go to the register, and he didn't go to the man himself and be like, hey, I'm gonna menace your life. I'm gonna threaten your life. And I'm gonna take your money, like, or he didn't take the food from the place. He was like, no, I'm gonna take this machine because this machine it belongs to the bank. So in his mind, he's like, this is the only way I can get money. This is the only way, like, without hurting anyone.
Yep.
He's like, I'm not trying to hurt anyone. I just need to live.
Yeah.
It's like.
Just like we were saying about Gwen and Miles, he was lonely too. Like, he was being disregarded and rejected by everyone, and so his last hope of being acknowledged was by Miles. Like, he's trying to pull the whole Joker and Batman thing. Like, you're my nemesis. We're connected to each other. I acknowledge you. You acknowledge me. We need each other. Blah blah blah. And then Miles is like, nah, fam. You're just a villain of the week. You mean nothing to me.
Yeah.
And that sent him off the deep end. Like, he tried to open up about his loneliness in a sense, and he got rejected, and so that made him double down to the supervillain role.
Another thing about it, he did steal the machine. He was saying that, like, he's like, oh, Spider-Man, yeah, this is exactly what I wanted. So he was kind of stealing as well the machine so that Spider-Man would notice him.
Yep.
He could have started hurting people with his portals, but he was like, I'm just going to do a petty crime, see if I could get his attention. Like,
all he cared about was getting Spider-Man's attention, and he got annoyed whenever Spider-Man got distracted. Like, when he's taking a phone call or texting, and he's like, "You're being very disrespectful in this fight right now." Like, the only reason he put up a fight at all was just to get Spider-Man's attention. He didn't hurt anyone. He didn't care about anything else. It was just so he can finally be acknowledged by someone, and Spider-Man was the only option he had left.
Exactly, and it comes out of this awesome theme of Spider-Man not always, but Spider-Man sometimes causing a villain to be created. That doesn't happen all the time. People like Norman Osborn are themselves just horrible people, and they become the villain when some accident happens. We got the Rhino. Rhino's also a choice. You got Kraven. Kraven is also a choice, right? Scorpion, a choice. But then you have characters like Venom, who's kind of like, Venom gets rejected by Peter, like, because Venom is on himself trying to be there for Peter. He's like, we are together, right? But during that time, he hurts Eddie Brock, and when he takes Venom off, he also hurts Venom's feelings. So both of those people combine to create a villain.
Yep.
So it's this theme. Is this thing of I guess like another canon event, which is Spider-Man creates a villain, and I guess he created the villain. Like, Miles has created now this villain for himself.
Oh, because he threw a bagel at him.
Oh, because he threw a bagel at him. Yeah. But yeah, that's very interesting as well, because it's like he could have stopped all this from happening, and I think he's gonna realize that as well. I think he's gonna be like, hey, maybe I do have some accountability to take here, because I did cause this. I caused this from happening.
Yeah, and he's basically he did to the spot what Miguel goes on to do to him later on in the movie. Because Miguel's like, oh, you shouldn't even be Spider-Man. You were a mistake. Like, you shouldn't be part of this at all. Like, you're nothing. And that's exactly what Miguel does to the spot, calling him a villain of the week.
Exactly. Miles does to the spot.
Yeah, sorry.
But no, it happened to me too. Like, they're really similar.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think there's a parallel there.
Yep.
Like, it's a good parallel. I think that's such good. Every story, like, everything's so well written and connected to where you kind of see where the resolution is gonna go. Mm-hmm. Like, I think I can see it. If the third movie comes out and he's just like everybody dunking on Miguel, I'm gonna be like, well, that was weird.
Yeah. It's like, no, I feel like I completely misunderstood where this was going to go.
Yeah, I was like, I think everybody needs to learn a lesson. I think the Spot is going to learn a lesson. I think Miles is going to learn this, and I think Miguel is going to learn a lesson. And they're going to come together, work together. I'm very excited for this sequel coming out next year, hopefully.
100%. Do they say next year? Do they give a time frame? I'm so excited.
It is supposed to come out next year,
okay,
but I
am
a little bit nervous because this movie did get held back. It was supposed to come last year, but it did get held back. But I don't care. It did, because
so long as we get the quality, so long as it's worth the wait, we do not mind.
Yeah, I do not mind. I was like, wow, this is so good. This is so good. But yeah, what do you give it? What do you give?
Oh yeah.
Is it
I definitely agree with you. I'd say 10 out of 10.
Yeah, it's just a good movie, man. It's just a good movie. And you can just keep talking. Like, you watched it again, and you're just like, I want to watch it again because I know that I'm gonna see things that I haven't seen.
Yes.
And hopefully I can actually hear what Spider-Punk is saying, because I could not hear anything he was saying. In my theater. I don't know if you had audio issues like everybody's having them.
I had issues with the beginning of the movie, like when Gwen was giving her opening monologue, and I couldn't quite hear her voice over all the drumming. I think part of it was just because my theater was talking a lot too. But yeah, I'm looking forward to rewatching a movie just to hear stuff I didn't hear and just to see stuff I didn't see. Like, this movie definitely feels like it's a rewatchable movie, and I'm very excited about that. Because some movies you see where it's like, oh yeah, that was good, but I feel like I got everything I want to see on the first watch. Like, I don't feel like watching it again. But this movie, no, I definitely feel like watching it again because I feel like there's a lot I missed.
It's a sequel that trumps the first one, I think. What do you think about that? Because I think this one is better than the first one. The first one is amazing, but this one is like just topped it up. Like, it topped it out. Like, it went up in the tier.
I think it does a great job of building off everything that the first one does. Yeah. It does a great job of escalating. I will still forever love the first one because it sets everything up, and I feel like, on one hand, I love everything this movie sets up and everything is going to be, because you can tell they're building a franchise out of this, and I love that they're setting everything up. But on the other hand, I do love how relatively straightforward and simple the first movie was. So I love both for very different reasons. I can never really. I'm not sure if I can pick one over the other, but I do love. This does everything else. I love how this movie does everything a sequel should, of building off everything that came before it. And I love how the first one does a good job of breaking the ground and making it so a sequel can actually exist.
Yeah. I guess I like the story of the first movie more because I like that movie's self-contained, so there's an ending to the story.
Yes.
While in this one, there's no ending. It's just we're waiting for the next movie for the ending, right? As a story, as a self-contained story, I prefer the first one. As a visual form of art, I prefer this one.
Yeah. Yep. I see
because that was building blocks. It's necessary. That one's necessary, but this one,
the first one walked so this movie could run.
Yes, and it runs. It runs hard.
100%.
it's eye candy. It's
Yep.
just eye candy. Like every frame, you could literally filled your whole walls with posters of this movie. Like it's just like every frame, take a frame,
like this
put it on your wall.
This movie is why I wish and hope that our culture will take animation more and more seriously. Because this is the beauty of animation, and this is the beauty of art, and like how much you can get, how much emotion and pathos and all that stuff you can get out of just like making up, just doing some really good animation. And like, I hope this will I hope this movie and this whole franchise will help normalize animation as more of an appreciated form of art in the mainstream.
This movie needs, just like Spider-Verse won all those. Did it win Oscar? Did it win an Oscar?
Yeah, the first one definitely won an Oscar.
Like this one needs to win Oscars. Like all of it, all categories.
Yep.
All the categories needs it, man. Like, yeah, no. I hope they begin to take, like, I don't think animation is a category. It shouldn't be a category. I think it's more of a, this is just a good film. I think like animation is a tool to deliver a story. And I don't think it should be a category viewed as something, not just a genre. It's not a genre. It's a tool that can have many genres in it. Like I don't like, because then we go like, oh, animation is a genre, and then the subgenre is comedy or action or drama. Like no, it's like this is a drama. This is a drama. Like this is a epic, action-packed comedy adventures. Like this is incredible.
Like it has as much emotional weight as Avengers Endgame, and should be taken just as seriously. Yes. Like it should be taken no less seriously because it's animated. Like it has the same pose, it has the same movie magic as any other big-time movie that has come out in the past few years.
Yeah, because it even has the shots, the camera angles, everything's so beautiful.
Oh god, those like shots of like seeing Miguel and Miles and Gwen like sitting upside down on the gargoyle and looking at New York. That was gorgeous, and I wish more Spider-Man media did that. Like I can't think of any other Spider-Man media that like just did that simple but like profound shot of just like looking at everything upside down.
That's awesome. The only thing I can think of is comic books and and the animated, some of the animated series kind of did that.
That makes sense.
At some point.
Like none of the major, like you don't see that in the same Raymond movies. I think.
No, like not that shift of perspective is not very common.
Yeah.
Commonly used.
Yeah.
I think the only thing we got was like that Spider-Man like kiss. The Spider-Man kiss.
Yep. Famous. But like again, another reason why animation like lends itself well to those kind of things so easily as opposed to live action.
Wow, no, but it's incredible. I mean, how insane was that ending of showing us the feelings that Miles was giving us, and all these flashbacks to the first movie, showing the world collapsing behind him, until we realized, oh my gosh, he's not in his world. This is not his world. Like when he talks to his mom, and you're like, he's not in the right world. I called it before they said it in the movie. I said, he's not in his world. And then Gwen was like, he's not in his world. I was like, I called it.
Like the moment his mom was like, wait, who's Spider-Man? You knew something was up. Like that was a funny joke, but like also what?
Hold on, what? Like, cause first I was like, would the mom know it? Like, this is a funny, like, Latino joke.
Like, this is funny, but, like, also, wait a minute, that joke makes no sense.
It's like, it's a funny mom joke, because you're like, you tell your mom something, and they're like, well, I don't know who that is. But it was so, I got confused, because I was like, hold on. Like, his mom should know what Spider-Man is. Like, she even said it, like, in the... Like, because I know that was kind of like, because I think it happened, and then there was like an imagination of Miles then saying, hey, I'm Spider-Man. But I think that was actually happening where she was like, hey, I heard that new Spider-Man is Puerto Rican.
Yeah.
Like, that was actually happening, and then Miles stands up and he's like, no, I think he's Dominican. And it's like, and then the fantasy starts where he's like, what if I tell them who I am? 'Cause in that moment, I think that's where the fantasy starts. But I think she would have known.
Oh, yeah.
She would have known.
Even if she didn't say that, just the fact that, like, her dad, like, has talked with Spider-Man, I'm sure, has surely brought him up on multiple occasions. And, like, even if you're not even talking about Miles as Spider-Man, they knew about, like, Peter B.
She knew.
They knew about OG Spider-Man at the very least.
Yeah, like, Spider-Man was way too popular for nobody to know it. Like, everybody knows who Spider-Man was. So it's like, yeah, it was kind of weird. So I was like, this is not his world. And then when you rewatch the scene, the colors are not the same. Like, our environment is not the same. But you think it's because in that moment, they are kind of tricking you because they are, like, showing you, like, how Spider-Man's mood is affecting the world. But they're kind of tricking your mind. And they're kind of also betting that you forgot the number of Spider-Man's dimension, of Miles' dimension, because it's like, they show you the 42 2 times before, and then, like, you think about, but when you see the 42, you think about the spider that beat Spider-Man, so you're like, well, that's his universe, because it says 42, but then you're like, hold on, the spider is from that other universe, 42, he's not in his universe.
Yep. It's very good. Such a good swerve.
Yes. I loved it so much. It was so good. That is such a good reveal. And then Miles Prowler.
Yes.
Ooh, he was so cool.
Oh, man. I'm so excited to see them interact. Because, like, I'm always a sucker for the trope of a hero meeting an alternate evil version of themselves. Like, I'm always a sucker for that. I eat that up all the time. So I really want to see more of that in the next one.
Me too. I really love that trope. So good. I'm excited. I'm really excited for this next movie. But yeah, thank you for listening to our conversation about this movie. Like, subscribe, and leave a comment. Let us know what you thought about the movie. Goodbye.
Flip.